Thank you so much to the people who make these videos possible on Patreon, including the big patrons of this month, the Nerd Therapist and FanGirlStephie. Thanks, heroes. Hey, Pokemon Masters, Berkey Patobi here, and of course this video was gonna happen. I think the moment that every PokeTuber knew that Galarian forms were a thing, they were like, okay, time to do it, time to hire some artists, give my 2 cents, what Pokemon should we see? It's another video, it's 10 minutes plus, and heck, I'm not above it. But what I will say is, one, I didn't just hire one artist. I hired 2 because there are 2 lovely artists that I wanted to work with. The first that you're going to be seeing the artwork of is The Last Shaman. She's a personal friend of mine. You may have seen her in my streams. Go and check out her socials if you need to commission some Galarian Pokemon. I absolutely would recommend her. However, if she's busy and flooded with commissions, also check out Core, who I've worked with before. And again, quality of their work is exceptional. They are both linked below. Thing number 2 is this video has Pokemon Sword and Shield in the title for that extra algorithmic luck. And also what that means is that you, yes you, at home could win a Nintendo Switch Lite, the limited edition Sword and Shield version, with a copy of the game. And of course, that competition is worldwide. It's ending when Pokemon Sword and Shield come out. All you have to do to enter is leave a like and a comment on any of my videos with Sword and Shield in the title. Each video that you do that on is an entry. And yeah, someone's gonna win at random, so good luck to you. With that being said, the ideas for these Galarian forms is I knew I wanted to do this video, and I sat down and I was thinking, okay, what Pokemon could this really work for? And I started up a list, and then I started streaming while I was thinking about the ideas. I stream over on Twitch, by the way, at pretty much random times every day, but I do stream, so if you want to follow me there, got notifications, that kind of thing. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to start off. And I started off writing down Lapras, and then as I got into the list, you lot in the chat were just really good at recommending some incredible ideas, so I got 10 of them commissioned. And of course, I'll be saying thank you to the people, you'll see the names on the bottom of the screen right here. So, Pokemon number 1, which was my own idea, Lapras. Because one, we've heard leaks that there might be a Galarian Lapras or anything like that, and that's kind of cool. But also, if you're gonna do a Lapras in Galar, given that Galar is based off of the UK, how can you not do a Loch Ness Monster? With that in mind, starting off with artwork by Core, we have Galarian Lapras. I believe it's water grass type. It's been rumored that this incredibly rare Pokemon has been appearing in locks all around Galar, but nobody's really quite sure. The photos are always obscured. Is it seaweed? Is it not? And that's because Galarian Lapras has disguised itself with seaweed. It is actually masterful when it comes to that seaweed and is able to control it. I personally think this design is very, very cool and would be a fun way to adapt on Lapras, which is a Pokemon whose design is actually pretty perfect anyway. Like, I love Lapras. I don't think you need to mess with the design that much. I mean, like, actually, look at this little cutie. You don't need to mess with this too much. However, why don't we put some greenery on it, and maybe it's got some greenery trapped in its mouth, which it eats. And there you go, Galarian Lapras. Pokemon number 2 is so dumb, and I love it, and this is one that The Last Shaman did. Galarian Watchog. And you know what we thought? This is what I recommended in the chat. Let's turn it into one of those old-time police officers. And I know you're thinking that's ridiculous. That would never be a Pokemon, but look at Galarian Weezing! We could make this happen. I love the idea that this Pokemon is probably like normal steel type. Like, it's got this metal helmet and it's always on the watch, always on the lookout for danger, and it will stop danger. Just imagining it running along this little baton like, oi oi, oi oi. But I don't know where it gets the baton. But I guess that's kind of like Alakazam's spoons. Either way, normal steel type, I think. Maybe if there's any special moves, let me know in the comments. Speaking of Alakazam spoons, number 3. Okay, before I show you the picture, because I think the picture for this one is like one of the coolest ones, if not my favorite one in the whole video. So, when I went to The Last Shaman, and I was like, we want to take Alakazam, which is like the, kind of like the wizard of the Pokemon world, right? It's the main spellcaster. And we want to take wizardry from the UK. So you're talking 2 big wizards, right? There's 2 famous ones, Harry Potter and Merlin. And Harry Potter's got the lightning bolt scar, and Kadabra kind of has the star on its head. And we're like, well, how can we adapt it? We were like, okay, what about a psychic electric type? And the design, oh, it's so nice. This is the design. Look. I mean, look at it. It looks like an old school wizard. The only thing it needs is like a little pair of moon spectacles, and it's psychically controlling a bit of bark. Just like how regular Alakazam has its spoons, This Alakazam has a big bit of bark that it uses as a staff, and the staff specifically comes from a tree that was struck by lightning. I also love the idea that it's such a powerful wizard, as Merlin is the most powerful wizard in all of history. Certainly the most famous. I love the idea that maybe it has an ability that allows it to resist moves that it was previously, that was super effective against it. Like, because it's so good, it resists Dark and Ghost, and then also, I guess, Bug and Ground. It resists those moves instead of taking super effective damage, meaning, yeah, this is a powerful Pokemon. Of course, the trade-off would be that its special attack and special defense would be fantastic, its speed potentially would be fantastic, but it would take a ton of physical damage. It'd be a real glass cannon. The other ability that it could kind of have that I could see is it having Lightning Rod, using the bit of bark to channel electricity, and then every time it gets struck, it kind of gets a boost in its special attack. That could also be really, really cool. But moving on, we'll go for another one from L Dark Core, Galarian Grandball, and we were looking at kind of like Pitbull dogs, which Granbull kind of already is, but this just seemed like a good opportunity to turn it into a dark fighting type instead of a fairy type. Kind of in the same vein as Obstagoon, this Pokemon, it's had to grow even tougher to survive in the Galar region. This is probably used by Team Yell, and yeah, that's it. This is the design. Does it have any cool abilities? It would definitely use the move Play Rough. A real bully Pokemon. Next up, another one by The Last Shaman, we have another Team Yell Pokemon, Galarian Exploud. So after the Team Yell reveal and how Zigzagoon kind of looks like the band Kiss, we were kind of like, oh, if they get another musical Pokemon or loud Pokemon, Exploud makes sense. Could we do one that looks like a rocker? And what The Last Shaman came back with was actually something very different to what I thought I was going for, but I really do like it. Steel type and possibly poison type as it emits the fumes. It's like a punk rocker that's also like a biker, and wow, what a cool thing. This is definitely a Team Yell go-to Pokemon. And yeah, while the design is definitely the most out there, I also just kind of love it. As for abilities and things, I'm not sure. It would definitely have a very, very, very strong physical attack. I'm sure of that. I don't know if Galarian forms change the species type, but I definitely think it would be called the Monster Truck Pokemon. Next up is another Pokemon by L Dark Core, and this is Galarian Aegislash. And of course, if you're going to Britain, if you're going to the Galar region, you've got to be talking about Excalibur, the legendary blade of myth, enchanted with magical powers, and sometimes consolidated with the Sword and the Stone, you know, the one from the Disney movie. I think they're sometimes considered the same sword, but also other times they're not considered the same sword. Either way, Excalibur has to be one of the most famous blades throughout history, even if is it real? I think it's just a mythical blade. And I kind of see this blade to be a rival to the Merlin Alakazam. I feel like maybe if Pokemon Sword version had this, Pokemon Shield would have the Alakazam. I'm not sure. It loses the Ghost typing and instead gets Fairy typing, so it's Fairy Steel because, it's a magical sword. It's much, much slimmer. I love the design that we've come up with. And also because Excalibur was used to slay dragons, so it makes sense that it's part Fairy type. Plus, Fairy Steel is a very, very interesting type combination. I think that's quite powerful, actually. And the way you get it in game is perhaps there would be some NPC out in the lake area of the Pokemon Wilds, the Lady of the Lake, and you would trade them a Doublade and they would give you back your same Doublade but evolved into Galarian Aegislash, the legendary sword. I don't know, I think that'd be pretty cool. Another one from L Dark Core, it's the other one, I feel like whenever we're talking about a UK region, we always said, well, you're gonna have a Loch Ness Monster, so we've done that with Lapras. You're gonna have this, that, the other, all these British things, and one of the ones goes, we get Welsh representation. We want the Red Dragon. Of course you do, Wales. So, how about we do Galarian Dragonite, inspired by the Welsh Dragon? So just with this one, I wanted to keep the form somewhat similar to regular Dragonite. There is an episode of the anime where we see a giant Dragonite, and I think it would be really cool if you could kind of retroactively retcon that to say that it was a Dynamax Dragonite from Galar. And this dragon, I assume, is Fire and Dragon type, although maybe you can think of better typings and better abilities. But yeah, this is how we bring the Welsh Dragon into a Pokemon. It's its Galarian form. Now time for one by The Last Shaman. We have another very, very British things right off the coat of arms, the unicorn with the crown, except it's a Galarian form of Rapidash. This is probably my least favorite in the video, and that's not because there's anything wrong with the design. I like the way the design came out. I just feel like Rapidash is a really hard Pokemon to improve the design of. I thought about making it a Pegasus and giving it wings, but that's not part of the coat of arms. I think this would make it a Fire Steel type, or maybe if it has magical powers, Fire Fairy, but I think it's Fire Steel. And yeah, definitely not my favorite Pokemon in this list, but I do think Galarian Rapidash could be very, very cool. And hey, I also love Rapidash and Ponyta have Pokedex entries talking about how the hooves are harder than Diamond. Well, maybe this thing around its neck now and its hooves are made of the same metal. Maybe some kind of platinum or something. Platinum isn't harder than Diamond, but some kind of metal that maybe fictionally in the Pokemon world could be. Either way, Galarian Rapidash, and there is another one by the last Shaman. Number 8, I think we're on. Number 9 even, which is a Team Yell Clefable. Team Yell Clefable. When I gave the last Shaman the idea for the X-Cloud, I was like, we should do like a Rockstar, like a Bowie X-Cloud, and then we ended up with the X-Cloud we got, which I do think is very, very cool. Also, if it is Steel Poison type, that would make it a total fairy killer. Anyway, Clefable, Fairy Electric, inspired by David Bowie. Give it a little mullet by adding some extra curls in where it's, you know, it usually has just the one curl. The reason we chose Clefable for this is obviously David Bowie has, you know, star. And Clefable being the shape of a star. I love the idea that it uses its fingers where it would usually use metronome to draw lightning bolts and it could cast lightning. I think that would be just a really fun, cool way to improve Clefable. Although, we have already seen Clefable in the trailers, so this one definitely isn't going to happen. And number 10, Druidigon. Now, Druidigon, I can finally pronounce it, like 3 generations later. Druidigon is a Pokemon that we thought in chat, we discussed, and we thought, you know what, it would look really good as an Iguanodon. The Iguanodon is a dinosaur heavily associated with Britain. It's a fossilized Pokemon. I've actually done a Fakemon Iguanodon before. And we thought, given the fossil, you know, we could make it a Dragon Rock type, an Iguanodon, Druidigon. We could do something there. What ended up happening, what Eldarkor came up with, though, was something totally different. A gargoyle. I reckon this is entirely rock type, and I love it. I love the way that its tail has just sort of like, it just sort of ends almost like it's been snapped off. This is a true nightmare Pokemon, and I love the idea of a gargoyle. So it's not what I originally intended, but yeah, I just think this is really, really cool. Let me know any types and abilities, but I reckon obviously it would be very effective with lots of rock type moves like Stone Edge, Rock Slide, you know, it's a gargoyle sitting on a building above you and then suddenly Rock Slide down on you. Cool Pokemon. Of course, these are just my 10 Galarian Pokemon. If you have any idea for forms, get creative and let me know in the comments. Of course, if you do leave a comment and you leave a like on this video, you are entering a competition with your chance to win a copy of Pokemon Sword and Shield on the limited edition Switch Lite. One of you is going to be winning that. It's worldwide and you have the chance to win. So thank you very much for watching this video. I've got hiccups now. I can feel them coming. So I'm going to stop recording. And of course, so hi Pokemon Masters.
This is Ash Ketchum. You just watched a video by Birdkeeper Toby. That makes you a Pokemon Master!